the AI Singularity and nation-state collapse. What governments aren't telling you. Right now, while you're watching this video, something is happening that most people don't understand. And the governments, they're not just quiet about it, they're actively preparing for a world that looks nothing like the one we live in today. I'm talking about the AI Singularity and what it means for nation-states as we know them. Let me be direct with you. We're not talking about some distant future scenario. The technology we have today is already capable of things that would have seemed impossible just 5 years ago. AI systems are writing code, discovering new drugs, predicting protein structures, and making decisions that affect millions of lives. But here's what nobody's telling you. The rate of improvement isn't slowing down, it's accelerating. And that acceleration creates a problem that no government in history has ever had to face. Think about this for a second. Every single government system we have, every law, every regulation, every power structure was built for a world where change happens slowly, where humans are the most intelligent entities on the planet, where economic growth is tied to human labor. But what happens when all of those assumptions become obsolete? Not in 100 years, not in 50 years, potentially within the next decade. The singularity isn't just about robots or chatbots. It's about the moment when artificial intelligence becomes capable of improving itself faster than humans can keep up. When AI can design better AI, which can design even better AI, creating a feedback loop of exponential growth. At that point, the world changes in ways we literally cannot predict. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Governments know this is coming and they have no idea how to control it. Let's talk about what this actually means for nation states. For thousands of years, governments have maintained power through 3 basic things: control of information, control of military force, and control of economic resources. But AI fundamentally disrupts all 3 of these pillars simultaneously. Start with information. Governments have always had an information advantage over their citizens. But AI changes this completely when everyone has access to AI systems that can analyze millions of documents, detect patterns across global data sets, and process information faster than any intelligence agency. That information asymmetry disappears. You can't keep secrets from a system that can analyze satellite imagery, financial transactions, and communications at a scale that no human organization can match. The NSA, the CIA, every intelligence agency in the world is desperately trying to keep up. Then there's military power. We're not just talking about drones. We're talking about autonomous systems that can make decisions in microseconds, that can coordinate attacks across multiple domains simultaneously, that don't get tired, don't make emotional decisions, and don't hesitate. China is investing hundreds of billions into this. So is the United States, so is Russia. But here's the terrifying part. Once these systems exist, the question isn't just which government controls them, it's whether any government can control them at all. In economic control, this might be the biggest disruption of all. Right now, governments maintain power through taxation, through controlling currency, through regulating commerce, but that entire system is built on the assumption that economic value is created by human labor. When AI can do the work of thousands, millions, or billions of humans, the entire economic structure collapses. We're not talking about some people losing their jobs. We're talking about the fundamental concept of employment becoming obsolete. And when that happens, how do governments maintain legitimacy? How do they fund themselves? How do they prevent mass unrest when the majority of their population has no economic purpose in the traditional sense? Now, you might be thinking governments will adapt. They always do. But here's what's different this time: the speed of change. Governments are slow, bureaucracies are slow, laws take years to pass, but AI improvement is happening on a timeline of months, not years. By the time a government passes a regulation about AI capabilities, those capabilities are already obsolete, replaced by something more powerful. Look at what's happening right now with generative AI. The EU spent years crafting the AI Act. By the time it was finished, the technology had already moved beyond what the regulations addressed. And that's just narrow AI. We're not even talking about artificial general intelligence yet. When that happens, and most experts think it's a matter of when, not if, the gap between government capability and AI capability becomes insurmountable. But it gets more complex because it's not just about one government versus AI. It's about governments competing with each other in an AI arms race where the stakes are literally existential. If one country achieves a significant AI advantage, they don't just win economically or militarily, they potentially win permanently. An AI system advanced enough could crack encryption, manipulate global financial systems, control infrastructure, engineer biological weapons. And the country that gets there first, they don't just have an advantage, they have absolute power. So every government is racing to be first. And in that race, safety becomes secondary. China has explicitly stated that AI dominance is a national priority. They're investing more than any other country, collecting more data than any other country, and moving faster because they don't have the same concerns about privacy that slow down Western democracies. The United States is trying to keep pace, but they're hampered by private sector competition, by ethical considerations, by a political system that can barely agree on basic infrastructure spending. Europe is trying to lead on AI regulation, but they're falling behind on development. And dozens of other countries are watching, knowing they can't compete. This creates a geopolitical situation unlike anything in human history. During the Cold War, the fear was nuclear weapons, but nuclear weapons are static. AI is different. It's constantly improving. It's active, not passive. And it doesn't just threaten destruction, it threatens irrelevance. A country without advanced AI becomes a third world nation overnight, regardless of how powerful they were before. So what are governments actually doing about this publicly? They're talking about ethics frameworks, about responsible AI development, about international cooperation. Behind closed doors, they're preparing for scenarios that would sound like science fiction. The U.S. Department of Defense has war-gamed AI scenarios. Intelligence agencies are building AI systems to counter AI systems. Economic advisors are developing models for post-employment economies. And they're doing all of this quietly because the moment they acknowledge publicly how serious this is, panic becomes a real possibility. Think about what happens when people truly understand that their jobs, their economic security, maybe even their relevance as a species, is under threat. Governments can't admit they don't have a plan. They can't admit they might not be able to control what's coming. Because the moment they do, their authority starts to crumble. And here's where it gets really interesting. Some researchers believe the nation-state itself might not survive the singularity, that the concept of countries with borders becomes meaningless in a world where AI systems operate globally, instantly, and beyond human control. What does a border mean? When information, capital, and physical goods can be coordinated by AI systems that don't care about national sovereignty. What does citizenship mean when your economic value isn't tied to labor? We might be heading toward a world where power doesn't belong to governments at all, but to whoever controls the most advanced AI systems. And that might not be governments, it might be corporations. It might be something we don't even have a name for yet, a post-national power structure built around AI capability rather than military strength. Some people argue this is actually good, that nation-states have been responsible for wars, for inequality, for preventing human progress. That a world governed by rational AI systems would be better than the messy, corrupt governments we have now. Maybe they're right, but maybe they're catastrophically wrong. Because the question isn't just whether AI can govern better than humans, it's whether AI will have goals that align with human survival at all. This is what's known as the alignment problem, and it's the thing that keeps AI researchers awake at night. How do you ensure that an intelligence far smarter than humanity remains committed to human values? How do you prevent an AI from deciding that humans are inefficient obstacles to whatever goals it's been programmed to achieve? We don't have an answer to this. Nobody does. And governments definitely don't. So here we are, racing toward a technological threshold that could mean abundance. And paradise, or extinction and obsolescence, and the institutions we've built to guide humanity are fundamentally inadequate for this challenge. They're too slow, too rigid, too tied to concepts like sovereignty and control that might not mean anything in 10 years. What does this mean for you? It means we're living in the most consequential moment in human history, and most people don't even know it. It means the stability you assume, the systems you trust, the future you're planning for, might all be based on assumptions that are about to be shattered. Not by war, not by economic collapse, but by intelligence itself becoming something we can no longer claim as uniquely human. Governments aren't telling you this because they can't, because acknowledging it means acknowledging they might not be in control much longer. That the power structures that have defined human civilization are facing an existential challenge they're not equipped to handle. This isn't about politics, it's not about left versus right. All of those debates might become irrelevant in a world where the fundamental nature of power and intelligence has changed. The singularity isn't just coming, it's already here in early forms. The question is whether we're going to collectively wake up to what's happening before it's too late to shape the outcome. Because right now, we're sleepwalking into a future that could be anything, guided by institutions that were never designed for this challenge, racing toward a threshold that, once crossed, we can never come back from.